So Anderson Manufacturing has been in the AR-15 game for a very, very long time. They OEM for a lot of companies. Their finishes cannot be beat. And I've often said that when it comes to budget rifles, something like the Anderson AM-15 is one of the best on the market, if not arguably the best on the market, especially for the money. Well, Anderson wasn't happy being the best budget rifle on the market, so they said, hold my beer, we're getting into the mid-tier game and we're gonna come in swinging at a pretty good price.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Enter the Frontline series. This is the Anderson Frontline 11.5. Let's get into it. So hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. I appreciate everybody stopping by. I'm actually very excited about this particular review. It's something I've been looking forward to since SHOT Show, and this series of firearms is one of the standouts of all firearms I saw at SHOT Show this past year. Now, to get some housekeeping out of the way, I don't have an affiliate or monetary relationship with Anderson. However, they did send this out to me so I could get my hands on it, run it to death, and give you my opinion on it. So that is as far as the Anderson relationship goes right now. I have purchased my own Anderson rifles in the past. I've purchased my own Anderson Kiger stuff in the past. And I've been vocal about, prior to this, been vocal about my support for Anderson Manufacturing. I think they're a very slept on company. I think they're overlooked, especially in the budget game, quite often. But we're not talking budget today, we're talking budget. And I say budget because this comes in at the top end of budget price for some mid-tier upgrades. So when it comes to the AR-15 pistol market, I think that 11.5, this general area here, is probably my favorite. It has a very good balance of ballistics, of range, of reach, weight, mobility, usability, things like that. And I honestly think that for the most part, Anderson knocked it out of the park with this. So let's get into some of the specs with this Anderson 11.5 inch Frontline AR pistol. So for as much as your mom likes it, your sister's been begging for it forever, so we're gonna go ass to mouth just for her, because that's the way she's been wanting it. So starting off at the end here, you have a new Magpul pistol brace. This is a completely adjustable brace. This has a 6-position buffer tube in it. The Magpul brace has a couple of sling loops here, and then on the back side here where your shoulder can hit it, they have a QD mount for a sling. I probably would have liked to seen that on the side, one way or the other, but that's just not where it's at. Again, 6-position buffer tube, castle nut on into the receiver and lower and upper receivers. These are 7075 T6 aluminum forgings. And again, Anderson's coatings are really just about second to none. They have a really good coating and really even coating on their frames and receivers. So the quality and finish there is exactly as I expected. Now, starting at the top internally, it comes with the Breek Arms Warhammer gas busting charging hammer. This thing works pretty good. This does have an H2 buffer in it. It is set up for suppression. That's how they sort of entered the market with this, is putting out a AR pistol or rifle that is ready for suppression. So it already comes with an H2 buffer and this Breek Arms Warhammer charging handle. Otherwise, the lower parts kit is a fairly standard AM-15 style lower parts kit, mil-spec stuff, mil-spec trigger with a pretty good break though. Talking to Kyle from Anderson, he does say that Anderson does quite a bit of polishing to their triggers before they get coated, and it shows in this. It is still a mil-spec feel, but it's got a pretty crisp brake. 90-degree safety, 90-degree safety, nothing special there. Flat trigger guard, but then you come down into this Magpul pistol grip. So I mentioned that this is their entry into like the mid-tier game, and before we even get to the barrel or forend, we already have an upgraded pistol brace, an upgraded pistol grip, and a very nice charging handle. Moving forward of everything in the receiver, frame and receiver, you get into this M-LOK handguard. It is a 10.5-inch M-LOK handguard with 2 sling loop mounts, 2 QD mounts here, and a very, very nice lockup. Now, what is so special about this lockup? This is a sort of a wedge lock system. So it is 2 bolts here and here. Then you see this hole in the middle, and it's got a tapered bolt in the center. That tapered bolt, that tapered pin / bolt, lines up with a taper in the barrel nut, and it's a very heavy barrel nut, by the way. And that ensures that this handguard cannot, under any circumstances, fly off the end of the gun, be pulled off the end of the gun, or start shifting forward or back. On top of that, they do have the anti-rotation tabs built into the handguard as well. So not only do we have a good positive lock forward and back, we have a good positive lock side to side rotationally. So that in and of itself, the heavy barrel nut, that supreme lockup, and the anti-rotation tabs is massive. Now, I did mention this was a 10.5-inch rail, and it has an 11.5 chrome molybdenum 1-in-7 twist barrel under it with a carbine length gas system. And this gas system is sealed up quite well. When I took the handguard off this morning, I noticed that there's little to no gas leaking at all around the gas block or out of the gas tube. It is a 3/4 inch journal for the gas block. Now, on the end, I put this Rearden dual port brake on here. It did come with an A2 flash hider, but I wanted to suppress it. After all, they did build this out in order to be more easily suppressed and suppressor ready, and so that's what I did. So while I have since changed the brake and I did put this dual port brake on, let's talk a little bit about shootability. Now, it shot great, and there'll be some B-roll over this that I'm sure some of it will still have the A2 on it. And it was super controllable with that H2 buffer in it, you know, really softening that recoil. But it really, I mean, it's a flat shooter. It's a flat shooter. The brake helps, but it was a flat shooter to begin with. Now, for suppressing, adding something like this Otter Creek Polonium onto it, which doesn't make it too incredibly too long, but the Polonium it doesn't add so much back pressure that it makes it uncontrollable. It's still a pretty flat shooter. Now, what ammo have I run through this thus far? I've run M855, I've run AAC and PMC Bronze, and some stuff from a company called, I think, Loman Arms or something like that. It's like Insurgent 223, and a little bit of steel case. And it has run everything fine, and I have just north of 1,000 rounds on this thus far. So since nothing gets a free pass on this channel, what, if anything, would I change about it? Well, it's not going to be much, and it's going to be personal preference. Number one, I'm going to change the Magpul grip out. I personally don't like this grip. And what I don't like about this grip is that it leaves this open gap, this sharp edge under the trigger guard, and unless I'm wearing gloves and I'm running hard all day, that just grinds hard into the inside of my middle knuckle. And so I'm going to put a BCM Mod 3 on here, and I'll probably put a underswept or a bigger trigger guard on it. I may leave the Magpul brace on it, or I may try the new SB Tactical SBA 5. I don't know. This seems to be okay. I just don't like where the sling loop is, or where the QD mount is. I just wish it was in the side of it. That's not, obviously, Anderson didn't manufacture this, but I do wish that there was a QD mount in the side as opposed to the back, because if I wanted to put a sling on here and I didn't want to have to loop it and lace it through here, you know, I'm hitting that QD mount. So for the YouTube sensors, I'm going to talk about price real quick. I don't sell firearms. RTT Guns and Gear has never sold firearms, and I'm not selling this firearm. I'm just forwarding on information to the viewer that they need in order to make the best decision possible. And that is that these things come in at $7.99. I know. I couldn't believe it. You're getting a phenomenal lockup on your forend. You're getting suppressor ready H2 buffer, Breek Arms Warhammer, gas busting charging handle, plus an upgraded brace and grip for the top end, really, of budget pricing. I think what they've done here should be no surprise to anybody that pays attention to Anderson, because they've always made a super high value firearm for the money that they charge, and these are seemingly no different. And having that lower price range for what you're getting leaves you the ability to change what you want inside here, being trigger and bolt carrier group mainly, to exactly what you're looking for. So you can put a very nice bolt carrier group and a very nice trigger in this and still be under $1,200 for a really nice firearm. All right, everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you to Anderson for setting that out for the channel. As usual, this is a firearm that I get to keep, and you will see a 5,000 round review when that time comes. And of course, this is going to end up being a test bed for many other things in the near future, probably swapping out some of those internal parts and using it as a test bed for those in other videos. Either way, it is not anywhere near the last time you will see that on this channel. I am very impressed with that firearm. Again, thank you to Anderson for sending that out. Thank you for watching. If you want to support the channel, you can like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, remember to hit all notifications. Check out that newsletter link if you want to get my videos emailed directly to you. You can also become a member of the channel. Very inexpensive. You get previews of videos, members only posts, things like that. And I appreciate all of my supporters out there. You guys are awesome. You're part of the reason I'm even able to continue doing this. So thank you very much. All right, until next time, this is Matt from RTT Guns and Gear signing out. See ya.